The first raindrop hit the dusty window with a sharp tap. Then another, and soon the whole world outside seemed to dissolve into silver streaks sliding down the glass. Inside the small house at the edge of Maplewood Town, a single lamp burned. In the corner, its worn light casting long shadows across the faded floral wallpaper. The air smelled faintly of damp wood and old photographs. Eleanor sat at the kitchen table, her fingers tracing the rim of a chipped porcelain cup she'd used for as long as she could remember. It was nearly midnight, but she couldn't sleep. Not tonight. Not with the envelope sitting in front of her, unopened, daring her to break the seal. She had found it in the back of the kitchen drawer that afternoon while searching for an old family recipe. The envelope was yellowed at the edges, its paper brittle, but across the front, in neat, slanted handwriting, were the words, "To be opened when the truth can no longer be hidden." Her breath caught every time she read it. The handwriting was unmistakable. It belonged to Daniel, her Daniel, the man she had loved since she was 17, the man who had disappeared 23 years ago without a single goodbye. The rain hammered harder, and somewhere in the distance, a train whistle echoed through the night. That sound always made Eleanor's chest ache, because the last time she'd seen Daniel, he was boarding a train out of town, promising to return before winter. "Promise me, Elle," he had said, holding her hand on the platform. "No matter what. You hear, no matter what happens, believe me. I'll come back for you." She had believed him. For years she had believed him, even when neighbors whispered, even when her own family urged her to move on. She had clung to that promise like a lifeline until the seasons turned, winters came and went, and Daniel never returned. Now, staring at this envelope, her hands trembled. Why had it been hidden all these years? Who had put it in her kitchen drawer? And what truth was so dangerous it had to wait decades to be told? A sudden knock at the door made her jump. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. She froze, heart pounding. No one came by at this hour, not in this weather. She rose slowly, her feet making almost no sound against the creaky wooden floor. The knocks came again, and this time she noticed something odd. They weren't just knocks. They were in a rhythm, a pattern. 3 slow knocks, pause, 2 sharp knocks. Pause, 3 slow knocks again. Her pulse quickened. That was their code. The secret knock she and Daniel used when they were teenagers to sneak out late at night without waking her parents. Eleanor's hand hovered over the door handle. Her mind screamed at her not to open it, but her heart, that foolish, stubborn heart, ached to believe the impossible. That after all these years, Daniel had come back. She opened the door, but it wasn't Daniel. It was a boy, no older than 17, drenched from the rain, his dark hair plastered to his forehead. He held a small leather-bound notebook to his chest as though protecting it from the storm. His eyes, sharp, desperate, locked on hers. "You're Eleanor?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," she said cautiously. "Who are you?" The boy glanced over his shoulder as if someone might be watching. I'm Daniel's son." The words hit her like ice water. Her knees nearly buckled. "That's impossible," she stammered. "No, it's not." The boy said quickly, "My father, he told me to find you. He told me you're the only one who can help me." Before she could ask another question, he stepped inside, shutting the door firmly behind him. Rainwater dripped onto the floor from his jacket. He placed the leather notebook on the table next to the mysterious envelope. "This belongs to you," he said, "everything's in here, the truth." And the reason he couldn't keep his promise. Eleanor's heart thudded in her chest. Her hands hovered over the notebook, but before she could touch it, the boy added, "There's something else. Someone's coming for it. We don't have much time." And then the lights flickered. The flicker of the lights made Eleanor's stomach clench. The old house groaned as the storm outside raged harder, wind slamming rain against the windows like handfuls of pebbles. The boy's words swirled in her head. Someone's coming for it. She grabbed the notebook with trembling hands. The leather was worn, soft from years of use. She glanced at the envelope again, both now sitting together, heavy with secrets. "Tell me your name," she demanded, her voice tight. "Matthew," the boy said. "Matthew Halley." Halley, Daniel's last name. Hearing it out loud after so many years was like being punched in the chest. Eleanor swallowed hard. Matthew, what happened to him? Where is Daniel? Matthew's eyes flickered, grief mixed with fear. He's alive. For now, but they're looking for him too. He said he couldn't leave until you knew the truth. That's why I came. Her fingers shook as she untied the leather strap around the notebook. Inside were pages and pages of Daniel's handwriting, hurried, desperate entries that looked like they had been written on trains, in motel rooms, sometimes with ink smeared from rain or tears. The first page made her blood run cold. "Oh, if you're reading this, it means I failed to protect us. They lied to me. They made me choose, leave you and keep you safe, or stay and watch them destroy you. I felt leaving was saving you. But I've been running ever since." Her vision blurred. The words swam. All these years, she had thought he had abandoned her. But instead, he had been protecting her from something or someone powerful enough to still be chasing him after 2 decades. Who are they? Eleanor whispered. Matthew's jaw tightened. "People who don't forget debts. My father. He saw something he wasn't supposed to see, and they've been hunting him ever since." Before she could speak again, a car engine roared outside, headlights slicing through the rain. The beam swept across the living room wall like a searchlight. "They found us," Matthew said urgently. "We have to go." Eleanor's eyes darted to the envelope. She grabbed it, shoving it inside her coat along with the notebook. Matthew headed toward the back door, but then he froze. The sound of heavy boots on the porch boards filled the air. 3 slow knocks. Pause. 2 sharp knocks. Pause. 3 slow knocks again. Her heart leapt into her throat. "That's our knock," she whispered. The door creaked open, and there he was. Daniel. Older, weathered, his once black hair now streaked with silver, eyes tired yet burning with the same fire she remembered. Rain clung to his coat, dripping onto the floor. For a moment, the storm outside faded into nothing. All she could hear was the pounding of her own heart. "Elle," he breathed, stepping inside. "I told you I'd come back." She wanted to run to him, to scream at him, to hold him, to ask him why he hadn't found a way sooner. But before she could speak, shadowy figures appeared on the porch behind him. "They're here," he said, his voice low. "We don't have much time." Matthew pressed the notebook into Eleanor's hands. "You take it. You keep it safe. If they get it, everything he's done will be for nothing." Daniel's eyes locked with hers, the same eyes that had begged her for trust all those years ago. "I broke my promise once. I'm not breaking it again. I'll hold them off." "You run. No," she cried, grabbing his arm. "I'm not leaving you again." His voice softening, even as the pounding on the door grew louder. "Al, I never stopped loving you, not for a single day. But if you love me, you'll go now, please." Tears blurred her vision. Matthew tugged her toward the back. Every instinct screamed to stay, but Daniel's last smile, pained, proud, and full of love, burned itself into her memory as she was pulled away. The last thing she heard before the night swallowed them was his voice shouting over the storm, "I promised I'd protect you, and I will." They ran through the rain until the house was just a shadow in the distance. Matthew clutched her hand, guiding her down a muddy path toward the old train tracks. She didn't know where they were going, only that she was holding the truth in her coat, the truth Daniel had sacrificed his life to keep safe. When they reached the tracks, Eleanor turned back, rain streaming down her face with her tears. Somewhere in that dark, storm-beaten house, the man she had waited for all her life was fighting for her one last time. She whispered into the night, "You kept your promise, Daniel, even if it broke mine." And then the whistle of a midnight train cut through the rain, carrying them away into the unknown.